I started my career as an investment analyst. I left the corporate world on Friday the 13th and decided to create my own version of a lavish life. Along the way, I became an online marketing certified professional. I am the CEO of You've Got Clients, where we help coaches create and fill their coaching programs. We sell courses and coaching and programs. And my clients are known for using my strategies to generate 18K in 2 weeks, 10K in 10 days, and 95K in 12 months, among other results. And that is why you are here today, right? To get on the path to getting some of those results for yourself. So with that said, let's hop into today's topic. And we are going to be talking about the new coach's secret to instant success. Thank you. Yeah, I've been making up for a lot of lost time. So I was actually once told that I would never get rid of my belly. So that's where I store my fat. So every person has a different fat storage profile. In general, most women store their fat like hips and butt area and not necessarily in their stomach area. And then they also store fat, under their arms and like legs. And I somehow got the male gene or like more of an android type of fat storage. So I actually don't store fat in my well, I'm kind of lean right now, but I don't typically store fat in my arms and legs. My whether I'm have a high fat body fat percentage or a low body fat percentage, like my arms and legs pretty much stay the same. But this box right here, that's where most of my fat goes. So in my stomach area, and then like I don't actually lose a whole lot. I lost, cup size, but I don't lose a whole lot when I lose fat. But I was once told that I would never get rid of the fat. Like I would never have a flat stomach. And I would never get rid of the fat in my stomach area, that it was just genetic and that I would just have to get over it and get used to it. And after being told that, I was like, oh, okay, that's a challenge, right? That's a dare, basically. Like you can't do it. And I don't know about you, but whenever somebody tells me you can't do it, I kind of want to do it even more. And we were actually talking about this, Cami. I don't know if you're on here right now, but we were talking about this on this morning's call with the private coaching clients, how she was like, she kind of grew up as a rebel or like try to do things against the grain. And that's definitely me as well. Like I was told as a kid, don't cross the street by yourself. And I remember it was like late at night and there were no cars coming. And I looked and I crossed the street. I ran across the street. And I remember my sister was like, ooh, you're going to get in trouble. And I was like, but there's no cars coming. So it's like, I've always been that person that's like, if I feel like I can do it, I'm going to do it. And when I was told, hey, you're never going to get rid of that fat in your belly area, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to not only show you that genetics doesn't mean anything, but that I'm going to have fun along the way. So I chose bikini competitions to be my, my driving force. Some people, like back in the day, they used to choose a high school reunion or like a photo shoot or a beach day. But I was like, I'm going all out. I'm getting on stage so that I know I'll stick to it. And I decided that at the end of 2019, I did my first competition in 2020. I got third place in my category and top 5 in the second category that I entered. And after that, I was addicted. I was like, all right, we're doing this again. And I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be then, but I got really close and I was like, I can see it now. And you know how like there's something that you want to do and you start moving towards it and you kind of see like a little glimmer of success. And as soon as you see that, you lock onto that. If you don't, then definitely do that. Like pay attention and then lock into that. Once I locked into it, I was like, oh yeah, this is it for me. So I'm going to take some time. I'm going to, listen to my coaches, do what I need to do. And then I'm going to come back even better. And that's what I did. After the last show, which was July, we took several months. I stuck to my meals. I always say 80-20. So I stuck to my meals. I stuck to my workouts, 80%, full force, 20% lifestyle. And I made it back on stage again in May, which was just, a week ago, exactly 1 week ago, I was on stage and ever since then, like I said, I've been wearing crop tops, and I want to like I did it at first to prove that I could do it, but along the way, I realized that it was more for me than it was trying to prove anything to anyone else. And that 100% ties into today's topic of the new coach's guide to success, or instant success. And there's a reason I said instant, because it is possible for instant success. Hey, Terrell, thank you. It definitely ties into today's topic. The program that I was talking about, which I'll share with you guys again a little bit later, a lot of you have probably gotten it already. It's called Brand New Coach. And the premise behind it is like, what would I do as a new coach if I knew then what I know now? And there is a way to get instant success. So I'm going to break that down as we go, and whatever questions you have, like, feel free to drop those in. Whatever thoughts you have along the way, drop those in, because I have a feeling that this conversation is going to go in a couple different paths. So the first thing I want to define is success, and success is subjective. Okay, there is no one definition of success. For one person, success is so let's take money, for example. For one person, success is making $1 million in a year. For another person, success is getting a promotion at their job. For another person, success is being able to hire somebody or putting themselves on payroll. So, and you can have several different components to your version of success. And that's why I say create your own version of a lavish life. That's basically like, choose your success, right? What does success mean to you? So that's the very first thing that you have to decide, is what does success really mean for you? As a new coach, anything is available and possible for you if you truly believe that you can have it, if you position yourself and you're open to receive that, and if it's an alignment for you. So, for example, as a new coach, one of the things that I wanted to do was to generate $10,000 in a month. That was my definition of success when I first started. And it took me a couple of months. There were some things that I had to do along the way internally from a mindset standpoint, not just the practical of creating a program, like getting an ideal client, like those things. Those are sort of like checklist items that are easy to handle. But the side that really makes your success come to life is the things that's more, it's actually a little bit more difficult for people, because they either, number one, don't realize it, or they're unwilling to release, let go, allow in. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go. Hey, LB, glad to have you. And when you're defining success for yourself, don't just make it about money, make it about other areas in your life. My first, and the reason I say that is because, whenever I say like something that, here's what I suggest that you do, it's because I've learned from my own experience. Like, my first choice of like, here's the success that I wanted was just based on money. I was like, I just want to make $10,000 in a month. And what happened was, along the way, as I was trying to get there, and I say trying because it was hard, because I wasn't looking at every area of my life, right? Nothing has to be hard, and you don't have to try to do the thing that is already meant for you if you will look, like, not just look at your life as just in the one area. Okay. So as I was getting there, it was like hand over fist, like, oh, okay, like we're here. We made it here. I made it to, sorry, my nose is itching. I made it to, 10,000, was it $5,000, I think was like my first milestone. I was like, okay, I'm halfway there. And it was like so difficult to make it to that goal that I wanted. And that's because I wasn't looking at the rest of my life. And I started paying attention to the other areas of my life, like relationship. That was one of the big things for me as I was first growing my business. Was I was married, and still am married, but like it was a new marriage, right? We had just gotten married, and I needed to learn that me reaching my business goal also meant that my relationship got to be full and joyful and not stressful. And like those things, like once I started looking at that and those things, it's like things took off. Okay. So this is the new coach's guide to instant success. Don't just look at defining success in one area, like all areas. Then once I feel like I got to a good place where the business was sort of running really well, the money was coming in, clients were coming in, and the relationship was going really well, I felt like I had a good balance there. Then I started looking at what I wanted personally for my health and wellness. And if I had just looked at everything all at once and said, this is success for me, I have, the body of my dreams, I have the business of my dreams, and I have the, what did I say before? Booty, a business, and a boo. I was like, those are the three things, right? Like if I had just looked at all of those and said to myself, I get to have them all at the same time and they all get to elevate together, then I would not have struggled so much. Because the very moment that I decided, okay, I'm going to not just look at money, I'm going to look at what do I want for my own health and wellness, is when my business took off. And if you guys were here last year, when I did my first show, you know that month, I took that entire month off from doing, calls and, all these other things that I was doing to try to like, quote unquote, bring money into the business and make money. And I had like, I did 27K that month. That was like my highest month to date at that point. And I came to the realization that, I need to make sure that I'm looking at all areas of my life for success. Okay. All areas of my life for success, not just the financial area, not just what I think I want. Like, I'm like, I want to have this business and I want to have this money. Like I need to look at everything, right? A booty, a business, and a boo. I need to look at everything. And the problem is that when there's something that you want and you want it so bad, it can be easy to just fixate on that thing and discard everything else in your life, or feel like you need to put everything else on hold, or say, okay, well, I know I need to, focus on creating this business and growing this business. So I've got to, check all these boxes. I have to do this ideal client homework, and I have to, do this live stream, and I need to post this thing here and do all that. And the problem with that, and the drawback of doing just that, is that the other areas of your life get to elevate everything together. So let me give you a good like visual and example for this. So for example, you have I hope this will be a good visual. So let's say that you've got a bowl, right? Or one of those Pyrex gold glass flat things that we bake. What's that? Banana, was it a banana? I don't know why this is like escaping me now. What is that? The dessert that I can't stand, actually. Vanilla wafers. It's like bananas and vanilla wafers. Can somebody give me that thing that I'm thinking of? What is that dessert that always comes in that glass container? It's like, is it bananas Foster or something like that? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? It's a dessert with bananas and it's got vanilla wafers on it. I can't stand it. Banana pudding. Thank you, B. Yes, banana pudding. I can't stand banana pudding. I typically don't like desserts with fruit because I like fruit fresh as it is. Yes, banana pudding. Thank you. So y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? So the glass pan where people always make banana pudding, right? And they bring it to the grill, to the cookout, that glass pan. All right. So let's divide. We're going to assume now that we have a divider, and we've divided that glass pan into 3 sections, right? You've got your financial, so your wealth, right? So maybe business, personal, career. This is the money. Okay. Then you've got your, in the middle, you got your relationship. And this might be maybe you desire a soulmate friend, a soulmate partner, a group of friends, or a better relationship with your parents or kids or extended family or whatever it is. These are the connections, right? So that relationship is in the center. Then the third area is your health. Okay, so this is health, wellness, what you put in your body, how you take care of your body, all of those things. All right, so you've got this glass pan, and you're gonna say, okay, I want, or I'm gonna use myself as an example. I was like, I want money. Okay, so what I did was I was so focused on trying to fill this section up that I kept pouring, right, water in that section. But what happens when you fill something up that's connected? All it did was spill over into the other areas, right? So I'm like, I'm so focused on trying to like fill this section up and get this section up to where it needs to be that I don't realize that in order for this section to be as high as it can, I actually need to focus on the other sections also. And so once you start paying attention to and filling all of them, so each day I do one thing for my health and wellness, whether that's resting, walking, lifting, eating, meditating, like there's something that happens each day for this. So I'm filling that section up. Then for a relationship, whether it's, preparing his coffee in the morning, he loves that. Whether it's making a phone call, I have to set a reminder on my phone to make phone calls to certain family members. Whether it's, introducing myself to someone new or smiling at people when I pass them, like I'm filling that section up. And then we've got the wealth section, which is taking care of business, tracking net worth. Like there's something that I do every day to fill that section. But if I'm just focusing on this section, it's actually harder to get that section filled to where you want it to go because these other areas also need help and support and action. Okay, so when you want to grow your wealth, you need to focus on paying attention to your relationship area and your health and wellness as well. Whatever that means for you. Might not necessarily mean getting on stage in a bikini, right? Everyone's definition of success is different, but you have a definition of success in that area. You also have a definition of success in the relationships area, and you have a definition of success in your wealth area. And if you don't have one, that's maybe your first thing that you need to pay attention to. And I don't say I'm not saying to create something because you actually already have something. You just haven't paid attention to like what you truly want in that area. And then start taking an action or moving in the direction of, okay? And so it's difficult I hope that analogy kind of makes sense. It's like, you can't just fill in one area. It's the same as how people always say you can't spot reduce fat. You also can't spot build wealth or spot build relationships or spot build health. Every area of your life supports the other areas and brings you to a place. Now, some areas, it might not always be even, right? There might be some dips. So you might be kind of here, there, maybe there, right? But if we're trying to go here and here, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be you trying. It's going to be you struggling. It's going to be you feeling like things are hard and looking at everyone else like, why is everyone else succeeding and I'm having such a hard time? It's because you're trying to pour in one area without realizing that if you were to just spend a little bit of time in each area and do a little bit of self-care, right? Like LB said, self-care Saturday, then you could get there a lot faster. Okay. Let me go back to the comments because I know I missed a couple. Okay. Allison says, that's the month that I found you and invested in your programs. When you were creating your dream body, you showed me that it's not all about the money. Yep, 100%. And I'm working on balancing a busy clientele and my own self-care. So yeah, so let's talk about that for just a little bit as far as like the balance. And balance is the idea of balance and like work-life balance is sort of I want to say trap. We talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago. So here's how I view how I fill each bucket and reach my goals. Whatever I am doing, I'm giving that my all and being present in the moment that I'm doing it. And there's no balance there. So when I am at the gym, when I am meal prepping, when I am focusing on my health and wellness, there's no balance. I'm going full force in that direction. Then once that's done, now we're on the next area where that same day I might be working on business stuff and there's no balance. I'm not also thinking about this other thing. I'm not also worrying about, I gotta, I didn't get this thing done. I gotta go do that. I'm like extremely tunnel vision focused. Then when I am present for my relationships, I'm 100% focused. That means putting the phone down if need to be, flipping over, turning it off so that I'm extremely focused. So for some people that feels like balance, where they're like, well, you've done a little bit of everything each day. But if you try to like balance life, or you're like, oh, I need to have a work-life balance, or I need to have I need to be balanced in the things that I do. Like if you really want to be good at each of these areas of your life, you have to be focused, like fanatically focused, and be present. So I would say I prefer to use the word being present versus being balanced, because if you can be present with whatever it is you're doing at that time and at that moment, you won't have to worry about balance. It will all work itself out. And I know like a lot of times people that they like hearing like work-life balance, but if you think about it, like the people who are truly successful, they don't necessarily have work-life balance. They're like going all out in the area where they want to go all out. And then when it's time for life, they're going all out in that area. And so at different times during your life, different things will have maybe more of a focus, but in general, when I'm wanting to attack, and I say attack, but like wanting to improve a certain area of life, that area is going to get a little bit more of my focus versus the other areas. And then later I can focus on the other areas and kind of bring those areas back up. So I don't necessarily I like the idea of being present. Like right now I'm present with you guys. I'm not thinking about what else is supposed to happen today. What other things do I need to do? What errands do I need to run? Like that's how I view quote unquote balance. I view it as be present with whatever it is that you're doing and do it to the best of your abilities. And then the other thing that I will say about that is no one can do 100, like you can't speed go 120%, 100% all out all the time. So in any area of my life, I'm always focused on, all right, when I can go gas on and go hard. And that's going to be around 80% of the time. Then when I need a break, 20% of the time, I'm not going to like not do it, but I'm going to show up. So if there's like sometimes for these Saturday trainings, I'm like tired, honestly. But on those days, I'm not just going to cancel. I'm just going to show up. And then the message comes through and then I gain that energy because I'm operating in my zone of genius and where I need to be, right? So like me putting out is actually energizing me as well. So I hope that all makes sense. So to go back specifically to this with balancing busy clientele and your own self-care, if you feel like you need more self-care, take more self-care, because that is going to spill over into the busy clientele and you actually will either come to the realization that you want different clientele or a different type of work or something like that. Or you'll just gain enough energy that you can manage it with no effort and problem. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I don't really like rice pudding either. It's so like mushy. Okay, good. I'm glad that was helpful. Hey, Caruana, we actually said your name earlier today. Crystal was saying that she had chatted with you. So, yeah, fanatically focused and present. Perfect. Okay, good. I'm glad that made sense. All right. So, the final thoughts that I will say about the instant success for the new coach, right? Like you've defined success for yourself and you're like, okay, well, how can it be instant? Like I want clients right now. I want and need money right now. Like there's all these things that I want to do right now. I don't have time to focus on, relationship goals or body goals or anything like that. And what I will say is, once again, filling just one section is actually going to make it slower to get that section up to the top. Okay. So fill each section, be present for it literally only takes 15 minutes to meditate. And now you've poured a little bit into the health and wellness section, right? Setting doing the bedtime thing on your phone so that you get in bed consistently at the same time and maybe even wake up consistently at the same time. That's simple. That's filling that section. So figure out what's that success for you? There's some things in your life that you're like, I've been meaning to do this. Do it. Don't mean anymore. Do it. And so those are the areas where okay, we can make this an instant success. Okay. Now, as far as the question of okay, well, how do I get clients right now? Because I know that there's that question is still there. Like, how do I get clients right now? And I'm going to tell you the exact same thing that I tell my clients. And that is that your clients are already out there. Okay. So I'm going to give you the example that I like to provide that my mentor gave me. And this has been my visual ever since. You're standing in a full room. Okay, so the room is full of people. There are ideal clients there. There are maybe people who are interested but not quite sure. There's all types of people, okay? And you guys are all in a room. Think of it as inside of a room where people are just kind of talking and networking or whatever, okay? And no one necessarily knows you yet. You're a new coach, right? You're new to your business, but you have a message to share and you know that you can help someone. You've overcome something in your own life. You have this gift that you want to provide and give. So you're confident in that. You're building up your confidence, but you're pretty solid in the fact that this is what you want to do. All right? Your clients are already in the same room with you. The only thing that you have to do is shine bright. And if you feel like, okay, I'm already shining, you need to shine brighter. You need to radiate so that your clients will oh, I didn't even know that she was here. Let me listen. Let me follow. Let me binge. Let me, pay attention. And that's the true instant success. And so the people that you see where, they're like, oh, I started my coaching business and I made 6 figures in the first year, or, my very first, basically step into the thing that I wanted to do and I was successful, right? Those, when you hear people say things like that, first of all, stop comparing yourself and take it with a grain of salt because you don't know the backstory. I remember I saw one person, she was like, I made 6 figures in the very first year. And then after I obsessed and I did research and realized that she got a contract from her previous job to do the same thing she was already doing. And it fell under her coaching. And so that's what caused her 6 figures. And I was like, oh, okay. So once again, don't compare, take it with a grain of salt, but also remember that it's available to you also. So don't feel that, those feelings of jealousy or it should be me, it can be you. Okay. You've got your own lane. You have your own bucket for your own things that already have your name on it. Like you are already set. You don't need anything that's in anybody else's anywhere or anything that they have. Like you already have what's meant for you. And that's just what you choose, right? So whatever that thing is that you chose, everybody doesn't choose to have a business. Everybody doesn't choose to become a coach. Some people are like, I want to be a cross-country skier. You didn't choose to be a cross-country skier, so it's not in your bucket, right? You chose to be a coach. You chose to be a successful coach. You define what success means for you. Like this is what you chose, okay? That's what's in your bucket. That's what's available to you. And the only thing that you need to do is shine bright. So what do I mean by shine bright? That's going to attract your clients to you, and it'll happen very, very quickly. What I mean is don't filter your message. Don't feel like you have to like maybe say something this certain way because somebody might not like the way that you say it, or don't feel like you need to, look this certain way or do anything anything other than what you know is true deep down in your heart. Like, this is what I want to do. Whatever you feel like, oh, I'm kind of scared because whatever the because is, that is dimming your light. Anything that you say, well, I'm not going to quite say it like that, or I'm not going to quite do it like that, that's dimming your light. And like I said, I speak from my own personal experience, my own personal life as well. For the last couple of years, I've been so focused on like doing things quote unquote right. And everybody has a journey. So this is part of my journey. And I've always felt like I want to talk more about manifestation. I want to talk more about creating your life. I want to talk more about how you can, like, you have the power deep down inside of you to create whatever you want, create your own version of a lavish life. And I've kind of like sprinkled it in here and there, and I've kind of like put it here, put it there. But there's always been this like fear for me to just go full force with it, right? Like, this is all I talk about. I don't care if I have a course on it. I don't care if I make money from it. I don't care if I have coaching from it. Like, this is what I want to talk about. And it wasn't until this most recent show where I got on stage and I feel like I shed that fear. And at that moment, I was like, what am I actually scared of? What is that actual fear? There's always going to be a fear there. Okay. But whatever that thing is that you're kind of scared about, that fear is only holding you back from shining bright for those clients that are like, that's what I want. Like, I know there are people who they don't care about the marketing, the webinars, the how to create a coaching program, all those things that I thought I needed to do. There are people who don't really necessarily care about that. Like, they want the manifestation, and that's what I want to talk about. And so that's what I'm doing. It's in the process of like, there's some things that need to be changed and moved and shifted around. But whatever it is that was going to allow you to shine brightest, that's what you need to do. And the fear is only holding you back from what you could have. Like, and I say this, like I said, for myself, like, I feel like I've had a glimpse of success, and I've created a successful business from my previous definition of success, which is I wanted to put myself on payroll. I wanted to generate multiple 5 figures in a month. I wanted to have a multiple 6-figure business. I wanted to be able to hire people. I wanted to be able to work for myself. I wanted all those things. Check, 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 check. But now my version of success is I want to speak my truth and I want to trust. That's it. And so my goal, I was writing down every single day through at least the last, right before I left for the trip, my goal was like 1.2 million, 1.2 million. And like the last thing I wrote on the goal was speak my truth and trust. Though that's my version of success now. And I don't think it's going to be perfect. And I have a little bit of fear and trepidation along the way, but I know what I need in order to shine brighter. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing also. And we will get to the top together. Perfect. Okay. I'm glad that you are enjoying this. You guys, if you have other questions or other thoughts, please let me know. Hey, Tokyo. Yes, it's shining brighter and being okay with being a little bit scared along the way, because it's never going to be easy. But this is what you want. Like you want the challenge, right? Like you didn't come here for everything to be easy. You didn't come here for, life to just coast along. That's freaking boring. Like you want the challenge. You want the contrast. It's kind of like, how like you injure yourself and then your skin starts to heal and it starts to like itch a little bit. Like, doesn't that feel good? And then like once it's gone, you're like, oh man, it was kind of cool when it was like a little bit itchy, because it just like, it was different, right? It wasn't just the norm. And so sometimes we're so scared of like cutting ourselves. Okay, I don't want to use that as an example. We're so scared of getting hurt that like we're not willing to like go skateboarding in the first place, right? But it's okay. Like you might trip and fall and stumble along the way, but it's all a part of your journey. It's all a part of your process, and it's going to make your coaching stronger. Like you still have a message to share. Like I'm still mentoring people who have a message that doesn't change, but I don't necessarily need to teach on here's how you find your ideal client. Like I've done that. It's done. It's there. It's in a course. If you want it, it's there. My message is speak your truth and trust. You deserve to have your dreams, right? You just got to decide. Like that's where I need to be. And once you really distill down to like your pure message and you do what is really required for you to shine brighter, like the money will come. Like I have zero fear in that area. That's not my fear. My fear is just putting myself out there and putting this message out there and like, how is it going to be received? Right. But that's always sort of where we as messengers are. And the thing is that like, you are not the message, you're the messenger, and you have to deliver the message. And if you choose not to deliver the message is still going to get out there. It's just going to come through someone else, and they are going to have the success that you want, and they are going to have the audience that you want, and they are going to get that feedback that you want. You need to be willing to be the messenger, and the message, if it's going to come, I'm like, let it come through me, because I'm willing to be a vessel. I'm willing to be here, and I'm willing to speak the truth. I'm willing to speak my truth. And that's what it needs to be for you in your business as well. Okay. You're very welcome, Mia. Thank you for coming. Thank you, April. I host the retreats in Mexico. So yes, we are doing Playa del Carmen in Mexico in February. Okay. More details about that will come soon. Part of what all this is going to be, like, I love travel, and it needs to be incorporated into my business more. So I actually will be doing more retreats. I likely will be doing a CEO retreat in October. I just said it, so now it's got to happen. So that's where I do like my annual planning and things like that. So I'll likely do that retreat, and then the Royal Retreat in February. And then I think I want to do something local as well in here in Atlanta. Courtney says, it's about the things they didn't see. I see you grow, gains, mindset, and all. You've manifested everything. Thank you so much, Courtney. And you have been a part of that journey the whole way. And I love you so much. It's like riding a bike for the first time. You will fall, but get back up. Exactly. Perfect. B, would love to have you there. Myra says, this message is for me for sure. I lack the confidence. I need to step out there and speak my truth and show others that I am knowledgeable and educated, all the way from Durham, North Carolina. Yes, ma'am. Get out there and speak it. Like I said, the message is going to come through, because the message can't help it. But if you want to be the messenger, you have to show up. Okay. Thank you. The difference between the two retreats. So the Royal Retreat is all about raising your vibe to expect and receive more. And during the Royal Retreat, we do talk about some like business and sales, but it's more so about, it's kind of like our Saturday calls, Paris. So it's more so about moving through those things. And we have a really good time in Mexico. There's a lot to do. And like the business stuff filters in, obviously, because it's all entrepreneurs. but you're having a chance to connect with other people who are basically going through the same things as you. And it's like a self-care, like time for you to get away, and you're raising your vibe. Okay. That's why it's called the Royal Retreat. It's like you deserve, we've talked about this, right? You deserve more. You deserve to create your own version of a lavish life. That's really what that is. The CEO retreat is one that I did myself last year. And so I actually took myself on a CEO retreat, tax-friendly getaway. And basically that was more so of a planning. So every October I do my planning for the year. And I say, this is what I want to release. I look at, here's what went well this past year. So that one's going to be a little bit more structured in looking at the business, and is really more so for someone who is, ideally you're already at the 6-figure mark. And it's like, how do we improve it? How do we go beyond? So it's like kind of like getting from 6 to 7 figures, because we got to look at, sales and where do you actually want to be? So it's still a lot, what I was evaluating was still a lot of like mindset stuff, but it's a little bit more structured in the terms of business, right? So it's for business owners. I was just planning my direction and I needed to hear all of this. Thank you. And I want to say I didn't find you by mistake. You did not. You absolutely did not. I decided to shine brighter today. 100%. Let's go. I'm glad you guys are excited to jet set with me. We're going to absolutely make that happen. Any other questions or anything else that we have for today? Cami says, your truth is setting me free. And that's because it is your truth as well. 100%. Good. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for joining me today. I usually have a little outro. I'm going to have to redo the outro. So I want to thank you for joining me on today's free training. If you want even more, then go explore my YouTube channel. It's at LaTisha Styles. While you're there, subscribe and tap that bell for notifications. There's going to be a lot more videos coming to you on the topic of manifestation and creating what you choose and decide, and choosing happy. I do broadcast every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you have more questions on today's topic, you can find me on Instagram as well. I'm at LaTisha Styles TV. While you're there, make sure to follow and say hi. Until next time, remember that your dreams deserve your decision, and you deserve to achieve your dreams, but only if you decide to do whatever it takes to get them. So go, dream, decide, and do. And I'll see you guys the next one. Okay. Bye.